yeah, Andrew Ko, last but not least. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here. My name is Andrew Ko, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Personalyze. Now, Personalyze is an award-winning, AI-driven people analytics company that's created the world's most powerful profiling technology on social and mobile, enabling brands to understand their customers to an unparalleled level of detail. Now, basically, we enable brands to understand their customers so that they can get closer to them and realize Steve Jobs' vision. But how are we doing this? So we are building the world's biggest database of interests, personalities, and behaviors on individuals. And these are just some of the sources that we're drawing from to develop this deep understanding of people. Now, we're crawling through and analyzing an enormous amount of data. But, as you all know, it's not the size that counts. It's what you do with it that matters. So, at our core, and using my PhD research, we built two groundbreaking technologies to enable us to deliver more accurate and more actionable data and customer insights. So we obtained social intelligence by creating a classification system or taxonomy of social interest topics. So we've essentially classified and categorized the entire social web. So we can profile anyone, and I mean anyone, on social across their entire social footprint in real time. So we get emotional intelligence through a revolutionary algorithm that we developed that can determine people's personalities based on their media consumption behavior. So what they listen to, what they read, what they watch. Now this algorithm has the same accuracy, about 80%, as a 60-minute written psychometric test. But we do it in seconds. Now our customers, they access our data in one of three ways. So one is an online dashboard, another is an API feed, and the third is a mobile SDK. And we price it per report or per call or on a monthly or yearly license basis. Now, what does it actually look like with this profile? So take me, for example. You don't know anything about me. But using our technology, you'll instantly know what I'm interested in, what I'm passionate about, and how I think. It's like this. So now, you know everything about me. So brands can use our technology to understand their customers to an unparalleled level of detail. And it's this technology that will allow us to understand people better than anyone else. Now, we don't just do it for me. We can do it for anyone across social and mobile. We gather over 500 points of data on every individual, telling brands everything they need to know about that customer to personalize their consumer experience. Now, we also give brands the holy grail of advertising. So the who, what, when, where, and how to deliver specific content, products, and offers to that customer to maximize its impact. This greatly increases their propensity to buy, click, and engage with that brand. Now, we do all this invisibly, non-intrusively, and in seconds with our smart technology. Now, speaking of our technology, I'll get into a little bit deeper into how we work. So we're essentially structuring data. We are cleaning up data. And this is how we do it. So we have 21 top-level topics, our taxonomy, and each one of these 21 topics breaks down about 3 or 4 levels deep. And this is, I'll show an example. So we're here in Portugal. So here's Ronaldo. And that is the ugliest statue I've ever seen in my life. So everyone else classifies him on 1 level. We classify him on 4. So we classify him in sports, soccer, he's a soccer athlete, and he's associated with a soccer team, Real Madrid. So how does this technology actually work in a profile environment? So this is me again. So you can see that these are my social interests. Art and entertainment, very broad. But you can drill down. So if you go into art and entertainment, you can see that I'm into music and comedy. Now you can say, well, music's very broad too. There's tons of genres. Well, you can drill into that and know exactly what kind of music genres I like to listen to. So it's not just music that we can do this with. We can do movie genres. You can find out what magazines I read and what athletes I follow. Now, this technology, you can see the structure that we're applying to this data. 4 levels deeper than anybody else out there right now. And we don't just do it for individuals. We do it on an aggregate level. We do it for brands. We can do it for a brand's audience. But the key thing is, if you can get it right on an individual level, then you'll get it much more accurate on an aggregate level. And speaking of accuracy, we not only have more accurate data, we have actionable data. So this is an example of a social ad targeting use case that we had with one of the leading UK media agencies. So they applied our technology, and we instantly told them the targeting criteria to use. Using our targeting criteria, they're 50% more efficient on average than what they've been doing before. So essentially, they're targeting twice as many people with the same spend. So we saved them a tremendous amount of time and also a tremendous amount of money. But our technology isn't just confined to social ad targeting. It can be applied across all industries, as these examples show. So for IKEA, there was first-party data talk earlier on this, I think it was EasyJet. So we're doing the same thing with IKEA, taking their first-party data, creating a social CRM out of it, showing their interests of their members, IKEA family card members. McKinsey, we're helping them micro-target across Europe, finding female potential McKinseyites to work at their company with a very specific social interest criteria. We have influencer search that we can do because we profile on an individual basis. And we're different than social listening tools because we take their data and we can profile their audience at a much deeper level. So our UK clients say we're a game changer. And our US clients say that we're like social analytics on crack. We are Personalyze. And we are revolutionizing the way that companies understand people. Thank you.
Cheers, questions?
That's the beauty of having the last pitch.
Exactly.
Everyone's knackered. And
Well, where'd you get started? How did you get started with this?
So it was from my PhD research in the University of Manchester. Yeah, so I mean, I'm Canadian, right? I obviously don't sound British. I went to Manchester to do my PhD about 9 years ago. I finished my PhD, but I spun out the company from that.
Great. Yanni, thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Concerning the competition, I would like to know what is your differentiation related to some companies like Verint or Palantir, for instance.
Yeah, so glad you asked that question. So, you know, those companies, it's funny because we're a social profiling company. It's new. Everyone thinks that we're a social listening company, which is old. Now, social listening companies like Brandwatch and Crimson Hexagon, I'm sure everybody knows these companies. They're great at what they do. They do social listening. But the problem is they can find people talking about a certain thing, but they can't tell you anything about those people. So I've used Brandwatch extensively. And they tell me 20% of your audience likes sports, 20% of your audience likes music. But as I showed, sports, music, it's just not good enough. So what we say is they do a top-down kind of profiling. So what they do is they find the people first, then they mash all their data together. Remember, it's messy data. And then they try to sort it out. Yeah, there's no machine learning algorithm in the world that can do that to get to an individual. So we say it's top-down, bottom-up profiling. We reverse that process. We go bottom-up. So we can take a group of 10,000 people, and we profile them individually. Like you saw with me, it takes about 5 seconds for every person. Well, then we do that over 10,000. So then we profile them to that level, structure the data first, and then combine all the data to aggregate it up. So then the brands that we work with, they can then go as high level with that data, with that group data, or as granular as they need to. Perfect. So that's the difference. It's completely the other way around. Yeah.
Great. And we do have a marketer coming up here to jam as well. Anthony from Coty. Please join us. Excellent.
Is this working? Yeah.
Yep.
So, Andrew, this is the second time we met.
Yes.
You did a speed dating event, so it must be fate
It
at
must be,
Coty
yes.
about 3 months ago. So, and that was only about 6 or 7 minutes as well. So,
Yep.
First thing, I'd love to hear a lot more about what you do in more detail.
Yeah, cool.
Coty has a challenge. So, Coty looks after about 70 plus brands: Rimmel, Max Factor, CoverGirl, Bourjois, OPI, Weller, Clairol. I didn't know what Coty was until I joined Coty about 8 months ago. So that's why I'm telling you guys in case, what's Coty? So it looks after a lot of big brands. We don't have a lot of first-party data. Mm-hmm. We have that problem of 96% of sales are in store, and retailers are very stingy with their information. So one of my questions for you, based on everything I've seen here, I've seen a lot of companies talk about profiling, being able to target. In the absence of first-party data, how can your company help activate audiences with your tool out there in DSP land?
Yeah, okay, great question. So we worked with a lot of clients without first-party data, so we encounter this problem a lot. And so how we solve it is that we first then profile, let's say, their social followers, right? So that's a good proxy of how, what their customers are like. So then we profile their followers on an aggregate level, and then we present them with the findings. Then that's the initial bit of kind of insight. And then we say, okay, well, who are you trying to target? So let's say for Rimmel, you're trying to target 16 to 19-year-old females in, in London, right? That's the next campaign.
And hitting 50-year-old men half the time. No, just
yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Like, profiling now is still really in its infancy. Everybody's targeting. Nobody's actually profiling, but better profiling leads to better targeting. So we profile, and then we will profile that intended target audience, and then we'll tell you what they're reading, what they're watching, et cetera, so that you can make that informed choice to go after that target audience. So even in the absence of first-party data, there's still so many ways that we can slice and dice this data that we have to help with your marketing efforts.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah,
Thank
all right.
you.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right.